In March 2011, the Disney Wonder, one of Disney's most luxurious cruise ships, was sailing through the calm, tropical waters of the Pacific Ocean. Thousands of guests were on board, families, children, honeymooners, all escaping into the magic of Disney. But somewhere between the coast of Mexico and Los Angeles, a 24-year-old British woman named Rebecca Coriam disappeared, and was never seen again. Her story would go on to become one of the most chilling and controversial maritime mysteries of modern times. Rebecca was living her dream. She'd been hired by Disney Cruise Line to work as a youth activities counselor, caring for children, traveling the world, and earning money doing what she loved. Her family back in Chester, England, said she'd always been full of life, funny, athletic, and deeply caring. Before joining Disney, she had studied sports science and worked with kids. To her, this was more than a job, it was a dream come true. She'd been at sea for months, calling home regularly and keeping in touch with friends. But something in her tone started to change in the days leading up to her disappearance. She sounded tired. Maybe even stressed. That night, the Disney Wonder was on its way back to Los Angeles after a week-long cruise to Mexico. CCTV footage shows Rebecca walking through the crew lounge around 5:45 a.m. She's wearing men's clothing, a large, loose t-shirt, black shorts, and flip-flops. She's on the phone, visibly upset. At one point, she puts her hand over her eyes, as if wiping away tears. She says something like, "Yeah, fine," then ends the call and walks out of frame. That was the last known footage of her, ever. Rebecca didn't show up for her morning shift. The crew began searching the ship, cabins, decks, recreation areas. But she was nowhere. At first, Disney told other crew members that she might have fallen overboard. But when investigators checked the ship's security cameras, something didn't add up. There were no recordings showing her falling, jumping, or even walking near the railings. And remember, cruise ships have hundreds of cameras, especially Disney's, which is known for tight surveillance. So how could someone disappear from a floating city with no trace? When the ship docked in Los Angeles, authorities didn't take over the case. Why? Because the ship was registered in the Bahamas, a country thousands of miles away. Under international law, that meant Bahamas police were in charge, not you. Investigators. But the Bahamas sent just one officer, who only spent one day on the ship. He interviewed a few crew members, took a brief look around, and left. That was the entire investigation. Rebecca's parents, Mike and Ann, flew to Los Angeles to meet the ship. They were led into a private room, where a Disney representative expressed condolences and told them that Rebecca must have fallen overboard, probably an accident. But when they asked to see the CCTV footage, they were only shown a single clip, the one of Rebecca on the phone at 5:45 a.m. When they asked to see footage from other decks or later times, they were told it was missing or not available. And when they asked for details of the person she'd been speaking to on the phone, Disney refused to identify them. Many crew members later admitted that Disney instructed them not to talk about Rebecca's disappearance. Some said security ordered them to stop discussing it with guests or the media. A few crew members anonymously claimed that Disney's official story didn't match what they saw. One even said Rebecca's disappearance didn't happen near the pool deck as Disney claimed, but closer to a crew maintenance area, a location without public cameras. Disney and Bahamian investigators concluded that Rebecca must have been swept overboard by a rogue wave while standing near Deck 5, where crews sometimes relaxed. But that explanation didn't fit. There was no record of any large waves that night. The ship was sailing in calm waters, and no one reported seeing or hearing anything unusual. And even if she had fallen, why were her flip-flops later found neatly placed by the pool? Friends later confirmed Rebecca had been speaking to a male crew member before she vanished. Some said they'd been arguing about something personal, maybe a relationship issue. Others hinted it might have involved another Disney staff member, possibly higher up. But Disney refused to name the person or allow any public questioning. The result? The one person who might have known what happened to her was never interrogated. Rebecca's family was handed her belongings, including clothes, photos, and her laptop. But her laptop's data had been erased. Her social media accounts were locked. And Disney refused to say who accessed them last. When her parents asked to see her cabin, they were told it had already been cleaned and reassigned. It was as if her existence had been scrubbed from the ship. Accidental fall, the simplest theory, she slipped and fell. But no evidence supports it. Suicide, authorities floated this idea, but her family rejected it. She had made plans for her next vacation just days before. Foul play, many now believe Rebecca witnessed or experienced something that others wanted covered up, possibly involving another crew member or internal misconduct. Corporate cover-up, critics accused Disney of protecting its brand above the truth. A British journalist who investigated the case said, "It felt like Disney's own people were controlling every step." The investigation was a performance, not a search for truth. More than a decade has passed, and Rebecca's body has never been found. Her parents still hold hope. They've traveled to the Bahamas multiple times, petitioned for new investigations, and even met with politicians in the UK, but nothing has changed. Disney continues to state that every proper procedure was followed. Yet to this day, no official cause of death has been confirmed. The ocean has its secrets, but so do corporations. The Disney Wonder still sails the seas, filled with laughter, music, and families making memories. And somewhere beneath that same horizon, one young woman's story remains trapped between the waves, a smile frozen in time, a truth locked behind the happiest brand on earth. Rebecca Coriam's case reminds us that even in the most magical places, darkness can hide behind the curtains. Her story isn't fiction, it's fact. What really happened aboard the Disney Wonder may never surface, but her memory continues to haunt the sea. If you want more true, unsolved mysteries like this one, don't forget to subscribe to True Mystery Vault, where every story is based on real events that the world still can't explain.